Welcome everyone. Today I have something very nice to show you guys. I have created an accumulated gacha probability table. So what are those numbers for and how do we use this table? Let's have a look over here. Let's say if I have enough for 10 gachas, so I'm going for 10 summon. I want to know what is exactly the total rate of me getting a 5% anything. If it's an item, if it's a character, I don't mind. I just want to see the golden light. And this is at 5.84%. So that means I'm looking at 5.8% for every 10 rows. I'm also looking at 3.79 and 2.04% for getting a character or getting a weapon on the limited character banner. At the same time, what if I saved up a lot? Let's say if I saved up to 85 rows in total, I know that out of the 85 rows, if I were to use all of them, I'm looking at 40% chance of getting a 5-star item. What you're seeing here are the summaries of the tables. I have deliberately cut them short from 1 to 90, but I actually cut out about 70 of those rows. What you'll see is, as I zoom those out, you see the entire probability table over here, down here, with a full table. And what this allows us to do is, let's say if I save up for 42 gachas, and I'm going to the gacha table, I know I'm looking at a 22% chance of getting a 5-star item. And at the same time, this goes to 14% chance of getting the character and 7.8% chance of getting a weapon. In order to explain the Excel table in more details, I've actually written up some notes for it. So the example here will have the 42 rows, so I save up enough primal gems for that. And now what this allows me to do is, I can see what are the best banners if I want the character or the weapon. At the same time, I know what rate I'm looking at with the 5-star item if I were to pull on each of the banners, if I use all 42. And also, what if I get lucky? On my 15th row, what if I get a 5-star? I want to know how lucky it was. Coming back to our tables, you can see that if I was to get a 5-star item on the 15th row, that means I'm looking at 8.6%. So we had 8.6% of getting a 5-star item. And if I happen to get a character, that's even lower, which is at 5.6%. And what this comes back to is to know how lucky we were with our pools. So now let's have a look. How should we use this table? So note that the rate is the same for each of the single pools. They are 0.6% for the normal gachas and 0.7% for the weapon banner. This table is going to show the accumulated probability for more than one pool. Let's say if I'm getting 2 pools, and if I'm getting 2 pools, I'm looking at 1.19% of getting a 5-star item. So what the table allows us to do is to show that what are the rates if I have more than 2 pools. Our example was if I saved up enough for 42 pools, and if I plan to use them all at once, so firstly we want to determine which banner I want to go on to. And you can see that there's 3 banners. There's the limited character banner, there is the standard banner, and lastly there is the weapon banner. So after determining which banner I want to pull on, go on to the 42nd column to see the summary rates for that exact banner. Let's use our example for the actual rate of the limited character banner. So go on to 42 over here. And by highlighting over here on the column, you can see that your rates for getting a 5-star item, character, and weapon. But if you want to go on to the standard banner, you can compare those rates over here. You can see that the character rates are much lower, but a higher probability for the weapon rate. Now clearly we cannot do all of the 42 pools at once. At most we can do 10 pools each time. And let's just say if I happen to be interrupted because I found a 5-star item, and now we're really happy about that, but the rates actually changes, because let's say if I'm left with 22 pools left, and now I shouldn't be looking at the 42 pool rate, I should be looking at the 22 pool rates. And if we come back to the Excel table over here, we can go on to the 22nd pool, and we can see the rate of me continuous pulling for more 5 stars. So keep in mind, if you do find a particular 5-star during your accumulated pools, the rates do adjust for the remaining pools for you. Now for the more important part, how do we use this table and how does this help us? This table is here to help us to better understand the rates, and it also highlights how important it is if we save for 80 for the weapon and 90 for the characters to get the PT pool, because we know how low the rates are if we don't save for those. Now if you want to see a video on how good it is to save for the 90 or 80 pools, check out my previous video which I explained the rates on top of the current rates, so you can see that it's actually 341% better if we saved for 90 pools instead of just going for 20 or 30 random pools. Now if you guys haven't subscribed, this is a really good time to join us. We have a lovely community, and also I'll be looking for more news, builds, tips and locations all about the game. And you can see my previous videos were really dedicated for Genshin Impact. Having this gacha rate table and also using this also allows me to reduce the urge to try to get lucky or maybe try to go for impulse or rage summon, because I know over the 22 pools I have, I'm only looking at 22% rate of getting a 5-star item, and that is not very high. At the same time, if I was about to spend to go for a rage summon, I know even if I spend like $20-$30, I'm looking at 10 to 20 pools, and those rates are not great. For each 10 of the pools I'm purchasing with my money, I'm only looking at 5.84%. Knowing the probability that you're buying yourself into kind of reduces the chance of you overspending, because you're less likely to buy something if you know that you're not going to get something you wanted. Now I know that the rates doesn't look that great for Genshin Impact, but keep in mind we do have a pity at 90 summons for 100% chance of getting an item. The 5-star item includes 5-star character and 5-star weapon, and we're looking at 66% of getting a character. This is with 50% of getting the limited character like Venti, and 16% for the other 5 characters that's available in the game. Similarly, I also calculated the probability of getting a weapon in the limited banner on the 90th pity. At the same time, if we didn't get Venti on the 90th row, on 180th row it's 100% guaranteed for getting the character, which is Venti. I have also made a similar table for the standard banner. You can see over here, this is the accumulated summon rate for the 10 gacha, and also up to 90 and 180. Keep in mind, there is no limited characters on the standard banner, so we always look at 33% for the character rate on the 90th or 180th row. Looking over here, we can see that the single pull rate for the limited weapon banner is actually slightly higher than the 5 stars from the other banners. It's at 0.7%. So upon getting those, we can roll up to 79 rolls, and the highest rate will be at 42%. Upon rolling on the 80th row, we'll look at a 100% chance of getting a 5-star weapon. To summarize this video, you can see that I have made 2 shortcuts of the gacha rate table, with 1 to 10 skipping the middle part and jumping towards 85 to 90 to show you guys a summary. If you are planning to use the table, make sure you come over here to use the complete table. But if you're just looking for rates like the 10 row rates, it's right over here. So I made it easy for you guys to find the 10 row rates, and if you happen to be looking for the 90 or 180, you can find it over here. But if you're looking for something more detailed, let's say if you have 31 rows, then definitely come over here for the complete table. If you do find yourself stuck with progression as free-to-play or low-spending players, I do recommend coming over here to check some of our videos, sometimes about saving hundreds of dollars beating the paywall, sometimes we can go into how to get more value for the packages which are cheaper, only spending $15 a month on the game. And lastly, I also have more videos similar to this one about how we can make a lot of primal gems with free-to-play. Hopefully you guys found this table helpful, and I know it's a little overwhelming the first time you look at it, but once you get used to it, it's actually pretty convenient. Just going over to how many have you saved and look at your rates for those. And each time I come back to this table, there's more incentive to see myself saving up to at least 90 rolls for one of the banners. Now, if you found this video helpful, make sure you subscribe and also click the little bell for more videos like this to come. As always, I wish you guys best of luck in Genshin, and also have a great time exploring this beautiful world. I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everyone.